Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our webinar, New Features in InBetween 5. Those who do not know me, my name is Michael Christoffel. I'm Director of Operations at InBetween and responsible for customer relationships. I'm really happy to show you our new InBetween release. So why is InBetween 5? What is so special about this? Why have we do a new major release? I have identified there are 5 major aspects which are new with the new release. The first thing is we have really go to a clear service-oriented architecture. This was all before, since I think InBetween 3.3. However, now we have a clear variety of services which are on a central server, and all these functionally can be accessed uniformly with all clients by the web application or the full automation or the integration in InDesign. The second thing is InBetween as a cloud. While InBetween is still available on-premise, we have really optimized our feature for the use within a cloud environment. The third thing is team-oriented publishing. It's still possible to work with InBetween on a one-person environment. However, we have seen that most publishing processes are distributed and rely on a very different person with different skills, all of them working together, and InBetween 5 has been designed to support such use cases. Smart and easy, InBetween was really easy to work with without any programming. Now it has become more and more intuitive, and we are really working to make it easier to use. And then the fastest InBetween of all time, it was not our marketing director, Anja, who has invented this. I have written this yesterday, because now the InBetween 5 is really both InDesign generation and Word generation and PDF generation. There was never an InBetween release faster than this. However, before going into deep dive with InBetween 5, I want to first give an introduction in InBetween 4.8. Where were those highlights we introduced last year? There was a flexible arrangement of file imports and file of products and content elements in publication Willer. So our tool for the web-based creation of documents, we can now have a very view on all the products here, and this described on here, this flow area, and we can sort them, order them as we can have it, and we can also read a list of products from file. Second thing is we are able that several users can work simultaneously with the same publication. So just with a catalog of fashion, so some users are working here on the women's fashion, some of the men's fashion, some of the kids' fashion, some of accessories, and all on the same publication at the same time. We've been working in border styles. We now have a large variety of different borders. You can even some really fancy line and decorations within InBetween borders. We are able to create InDesign table of contents. Table of contents InBetween could create a long time, but now we can create a table of contents so that it's a living InDesign document. This means if you add some pages which are not created by InBetween, it's still the table of contents updates. And also we have been working on the Office document, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It has become more powerful and not more options that can be available. Okay, but now let's go to InBetween 5. So in total, we have created 5,789 tickets. So that's a really large release we've created. And the most highlight is one of the planning of the version of publishing processes. Before of this, our focus was more a single publishing process, which could be fully automated or could be creative with some graphic designers, or could be done by some marketing personnel or publication with the web, and could also work in together, but it was only the single process. So there was a group of persons working on the catalog and the others on data sheets, and some of them on price lists, and one of them labels. But now, what happens if you're a marketing director and want to just see the different processes? What is the catalog? What is the mailing doing? And this is now possible with the new InBetween Publication Planner. So this gives an overview of all currently running publishing process based on your workflow. You can see all the information, very detailed information about the product status, the timelines, responsibilities, who is responsible for the publication, and you can simply see it. You can see all publications in detail. You can see the current states. You can also preview of the current states of each publication. Or as other, you have a dashboard view, which gives you a very top, a very view from the top on all the publications. And it's also possible that you can create a new publication. As a marketing director, you want to initiate a publication. You can assign timelines. You can even plan sections. You can assign people responsible for the publication and the sections. So I want to show this, how this looks. This is publication planner, and you can see here in the fictive, it's a company of fashion, and they see there are things here, the catalog 2021 and 2022, which has already been distributed. They are finished 100%, while we are still working on the catalog 2023. And there are some special catalogs as a fair catalog, a spring catalog, a summer catalog. Here for the winter catalog, we have not started at all. It's still in the planning phase. You see the languages available of them. What is it? You have dates. Some of them have dates, others have no dates. You can see how many pages are currently created. You can see which department in your company is available. You can see the responsible person who is working on this. And you can also change this. For instance, you want to see now the spring catalog. Well, it's in finishing, but spring has already started. And Adam, let's say I want to assign a date here on this, and I say the spring catalog, I want to publish it at 26th of April and give a date. Otherwise, I could also do here, give approvals on this. I can do all the workflow changes. There's also an overview view. If I'm going to dashboard, I see all publications, and also you see here statistics. For instance, 33% of my publications I am planning, while most of them are in work, or most of them are currently in the marketing department, while the graphic department are only 11%. You can see them. And it's also possible that you can see, for instance, we have the publication here and see, but I can see also Papa. We also have an outdoor department. I can see the outdoor catalog or the groceries. Can see this. And I can also create a new publication. So for instance, I want to have, this webinar going to a publication, and I give the name, I want to have a kids fashion. Can I give a date? I'm not allowed, but I say I need this fixed fashion at 15th of May, should be possible, and responsible person should be Hannah. Hannah is responsible. I initiate a person, and Hannah is informed the thing. Which languages are available? Well, we have 4 company languages, and all should be available. And I have it. So that was the publication planning. Second main emphasis was InBetween Cloud. So it's possible to host InBetween applications in the cloud service. It's very fast. We have very good experience for this InBetween Cloud. But now we are going to have more fancy thing. Hurricane mode means that you can create a second resource allocation together with our hosting partner, Amazon Web Services. And this is a hurricane mode. This means we have one resource allocation in Hurricane and a normal mode. And InBetween is able to switch automatically to these higher resources whenever there is a large generation coming with lots of computing power. And once the generation is over and the computing power is reduced, InBetween can automatically go back to regular mode. This means the same thing, you have some, let's say, a standby, or which is being used by catalog production, which does not need that much mighty power. But maybe if you're going to data sheets with really lots of them, InBetween can automatically lose more power on the same environment without any additional public. And of course, you don't have to pay twice. It's the same application, but only use more computing power. I think it's so. For instance, if you want a data sheet, it is possible to generate your data sheets with 120 cores, but usually, maybe in normal mode, you only need 8 of them. User interfaces. Currently, we have very good user interfaces, web-based user, but what if we have some special characters? For instance, we created this for a project in Canada. There is there's a reseller of do-it-yourself products, and they have lots of stores, and they want to produce point of sales products such as price shield data sheets, and they want to give their stores the ability to create this point of sales products on their own. However, for this is no planning. However, if they want to use the products which are in stock, and I want to say, yes, for this, I need a price label. For this, I need the data sheets. And they have a really special publishing process. And we have, with this custom UI, we were able to create this user interface to the needs of this company or to other companies. This means, in addition to the existing user interface, we can realize the user behavior intended for the customer, for especially one special application. Tailor this in a web application by using all the central functions. I have just told before, we have a service-oriented architecture, and all the services are in the server. This means the only thing, if you want to have a custom UI, you need this custom UI module, and the only thing is to be done, develop the web frontend according to your needs, and use all the existing functionality. So the question, which products are available, what are the prices, generate me a document, update document, it's everything available. Only the UI has to be created. So there's a new InDesign-Renderer coming with InBetween 5. In InBetween 4, it was that InBetween creates page by page and places frame by frame. This means, so same as a human graphic designer would do work page by page. It's very fast, but it was a sequential process. But now with InBetween 5, we calculate the entire page structure with a definition here. This frame has to be placed here, and with this content on this structure before, and the entire structure of the document we hand over to InDesign, and the InDesign plugin or DBP client constructs the entire page sequence in one step, not page per page, but all the pages together in parallel. So, of course, this is a really great increase of speed. Here it is. For the user, it's no difference. The user will generate an InDesign document, gets an InDesign document, but the technique is completely different. And this also works for InDesign Server, but also for the InDesign desktop application. Next thing, extended content of packed InDesign document. InBetween already has the possibility to add not only the InDesign document, but add other things, for instance, fonts used, the images used, and pack all of them together in a zip archive. With InBetween 5, the user can granularly identify which elements to be packed in this archive. For instance, needs the images and the fonts. And it's also possible to have, let's say, a PDF export of the same document together with the fonts, and just export it in one zip archive. This means, for instance, you want to have, you're in a machine and want to have on a local machine, you want to have to use an InDesign document with everything you need. The only thing is to use this packed InDesign document. No need to transfer the data. No need to transfer everything. You have everything together, what you need working in InDesign. Next thing was metadata in PDF documents. So before we are able to add metadata, this is a standard metadata. This is document name, the author, and description. However, now it's even possible to use predefined metadata fields, which can be stored within the PDF document. And this can be more information for the users. If the users of this PDF document, maybe the copyright which is available, or maybe some when the document is information, the data availability, and we can simply fill it just by in between. And because variables and data queries, of course, also standard custom element. For instance, here we have this is the way how it looks when I bring just in new custom properties. And we have, let's say, a new field, price is valid from, and we say the prices are valid from 1st of April 2023. And this is written to the PDF document. So I have just seen InBetween has become easier to use. And one really important application, we have redesigned our data query dialog. As you know, InBetween is very easy to create data queries without any programming, just by a dialog where you select the elements and do it. This has been simplified significantly. We have done so. We have identified what are the real steps you need to create a data query of different kinds. And we have adjusted that you need fewer mouse clicks and shorter mouse movements to get it. And we have calculated with this, we have reduced the effort, the number of clicks and thing to create data queries by 70%. And now I want to show you the new data query dialog. As you know, this is project editor or templating tool. And I have here an empty template, and I just want to create a frame which contains the name of my products. I'm opening a frame, and now I want to edit this frame. And in between goes directly to the new dialog. Before that, you created a frame, and then you were able to store it in the data library. Now the data library is mandatory. And the first step is you select what's the name of your product and where in the data query you want, the data library you want to have it. So I did not use an existing data query, but I created a new one. For my groceries limit, I want to have a product name, and I call this data query a product name, and I'm pressing to next. So here I see a data tree, my data element reviewed, and I want the product. So I traverse to the product. Then chapter product, here I am, and I want to have a product as an attribute. So just double click on it and I've created to get an attribute value I want to have. So then I'm going to next. Okay, which attribute value I want to have? The first thing is I have to identify this as a product. I want to have the product which I'm currently investigating. So this is the product ID, and the product ID should be the variable current link. This is my current product ID. This means I want to have the product, or this is the current product. This means the current product, which I'm currently working on. Second is the attribute. I want to have a special type of attribute. This is attribute ref type, and I want to have the ref type name. Give me the attribute with the name name. This is the name of the product. And I have to note an additional query. I want to add, here's the arrow, and there's a conjunction. And I want to have the language, and the language should be the variable log language. This is my current language. And this data query says, give me the name of a product, of the current product and the current language. So I'm trying this, and I can directly see I have this product with the reference C3S1P1. And go it, and it's here chocolate. Or I can have something different. I have this product, and it's Olympus called. These are the names of my products. So saving this query, the dialog closes automatically, data is queued, and I can check here the content of my thing. Here's, you can see it's a product name in it, and if I go into preview, InBetween calculates the preview of my product, and here's it, so chocolate. Now I can decorate it a little bit and assign background style. Maybe here have gradient blue, red. Maybe simply have a black background. And I want to have the paragraph styles. I want to have it centered. And I'm going to the font style. I want to have this point in yellow. So the product name in yellow, and if I got a preview, I have my product name with a black background and this yellow font. So I think it takes 4 to 5 minutes what I created a new frame with a new data query. That's our new data query dialog. So going back to the application, it's not only that it's new, we have also added new functionalities. We are on what is new, we have added arithmetical functionals. Before of this, we have a very wide range of text manipulations, get subsets, search in text, and so on. But now we can also work with numbers. We have the basic arithmetic operations, plus, minus, times, divided by, and we have also rounding. And we can use data queries, constant values, or variables within this mathematical abstraction. And this can be used, let's say, for currency conversion. You want to have a euro price and want to have it in pound sterling. You have the calculate value added tax. If you have the tax rate, you have equivalent measurement units. For instance, you want to have centimeters and want to have inches. Or you can also create customer individual prices if you have some price category coming from your CRM, and I want to have the price for this customer. Let's show how this works. So I have just prepared a small publication. It's groceries. So chocolates, pasta, and all this. I am generating this. And it should come now. 79%. So it should be 99%. It cannot take long. So let's just store it, and okay, we are finished. So you have in the filled card, chocolate, champagne, sugar, and other things. And you can see you have here it's a campaign price, and here is a regular price. However, you see there is no price reduction. The campaign price is identical to the regular price. This won't be very interesting for a customer. However, this should be a list of our advertised products, and there should be a price reduction. For these price reductions, I have just created a project variable. here, price discount. And this value says I want to have it 0.925. This is 7.5% less than regular. And I want to use this. Instead of this fixed value, I could also create some campaign tool or some CRM or some other data source. But now here is this variable I have identified. Okay, this means I have to change my data query. And this, I don't have to create a template on my own because I have this data query also in. It's called campaign price. And I'm going to add the query. And its currently price, it's 192. So now I want to multiply it with my discount rate. Because of this, I'm selecting the function I need. I want to have multiplication. Now I'm asked, what is the decimal separator in my data? Is the point of comma? Is this different from country to country? Here in my data, the decimal separator is a comma. And I don't want to add it with a fixed value, but a variable. And I say the variable is called price discount. This means I multiply my data value with price discount. Okay, let's check whether it's correct. Okay, it's mathematically it's correct. It's 1776. And this means I get a problem in my cash tax because I can't pay €1.776 or whatever. So this means I need a rounding. I only want to have 2 digits. And because of this, I will select here a new function. This multiplied, I want to now add rounding. Decimal separator is comma, and I want to round 2 digits. Okay. So it's 178, at least for this document. I'm just checking for a different product for 01. Okay, sounds correct. I'll save it. And now I generate the same publication I've generated 2 minutes before. I say generate the publication, and then this grocery, this food brochure should come within some seconds, 79%. Now we know it will stop with 99% before it will conclude. And now it's coming. It's there. And now we see it. The chocolate one is now regular price is 192, and now it's 178. And all the products we have also. You can see it's automatically updated the different templates because I've changed the data query. And all of them now the discounted price is available on my system just by using the arithmetic functions of InBetween. Okay. What else is new? We have there are advances at the user administration. Before of this, InBetween is still able to have very fine granular user rights for system rights and projects rights. So we can design this user can create and modify templates, while the other project can only view publications, or our sales organization in Brazil, they can only access products available in Brazil and only the currency real and only Brazilian Portuguese as language. But now it's also available to synchronize our user administration with an LDAP service, for instance, an Windows Active Directory. This means if there is a group, let's say sales organization Brazil, then and the same group is in between, we can synchronize this. This means all users of this group have also the rights of sales organization Brazil. And if there's a rule template administrators, all users get automatically the user group sales administrator. Second improvement is I can create lots of user accounts at once and also deactivate them. Just imagine you have a completely new affiliate, and they want to have use InBetween, and there are 100 new users. You don't want to have great user accounts one by one, but you simply are able to create 100 user accounts as one. So next thing is, it should be seen, but we also have the new InBetween 2023, both for the server and the desktop application, is available in InBetween. Okay, these are the news in InBetween 5. I want to just give a small outlook on the planned development activities. You see our developers are sitting on their computers and coding. What are the main things we are working on and will be publishing this year, next year, sometime? So this is one thing already when I started was here in InBetween. I wanted to have it. Now it's created. We are recreating project editor, which has been simplified, but now it will be recreated as a web application. This means once this is finished, you only need a web browser to do all template modifications. So we're also working in publication with that. This is quite optimized for the user behavior. However, we are replacing the background to a new platform called React, and this will be much faster than it is today. We will also use the same platform for the project editor, by the way. The next thing we have seen, it's very easy to create data queries. We want to simplify it even more so that there's no effort to create data query. Just assume you have a PIM system and you have an attribute called product name. In this case, it would be very easy if it automatically, just if you connect to this PIM system, InBetween automatically creates a data query with a name, product name. So there is no effort for this if we implement it. The then is since we have already optimized our scheduler so that InBetween can handle several generations at the same time. We will also now be working on this within the same generation. This means we split the generation in different parts, for instance, pages, and we create threads of them. This means while generating one and the same generation, InBetween the generation will run in parallel on different computing cores, and this should also be a good improvement for the generation performance. And there's one change which will come with also working on at the same time for the automated generation of diagrams. This means we can not only table and all the ways, but also have some graphical representation of a table of some values, and this created directly by InBetween. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you today.